Welcome to The World According To on IMTS Plus. Today, we're visiting with Dan Janka, who is the president of Mazak Corporation. Dan, let's talk about how you got into this industry and what led you to the leadership of one of the largest U.S. manufacturing companies.
I owe a lot of the credit to my father for getting into the machine tool industry. He was a cutting tool engineer in the cutting tool industry when I was a kid. We had a small machine shop in our basement. He taught me how to turn threads on a little lathe, little engine lathe, when I was about 12 years old. I just had a passion for making stuff. My entire toolbox today is still filled with the tools I made back in high school. I attended the local community college and got my 2-year associate's degree in mechanical technology. At that point, it was somewhat of a watershed moment in my lifetime. I had to decide, do I want to go to work for Caterpillar? I had a job offer. Or do I want to go on and get a 4-year degree, engineering degree, which frankly, I had a lot of interest in doing. And so I chose that path. I started with Cincinnati Millicron. I was a young industrial engineer, had a minor in mechanical, and my first role in the machine tool industry was software. As I ascended up through the leadership opportunities, we went through several changes of control. And I was sitting in my office one day. My assistant poked her head in and said, Mr. Brian Papke is on the line. He said, "Hey, Dan, would you like to have lunch?" Brian and I had a wonderful, wonderful lunch. We talked for 2 hours, getting ready to leave, and Brian turns and looks at me and he says, "By the way, would you ever consider joining Mazak?" And of course, I was honored, but I was also shocked. Wow, here's one of the icons in the industry would actually consider, me. It was a very humbling experience. So in 1968, Mr. Yamazaki came over to the US and made the decision, if we're going to be number one in this industry, we need to have a footprint in the North American market. He made a really good decision to settle here in Northern Kentucky. Since that time, there have been 20 expansions to where this campus now is comprised of almost 1 million square feet under roof. Every time we bring a customer through our factory floor and they can see Mazak's manufacturing Mazaks, we pretty much win the business. The campus is our #1 sales tool. Here in North America, we have approximately 1,000 Mazak associates. During COVID, at a time when much of the industry was pulling back and tapping the brakes, we did just the opposite. We doubled down on what we thought was going to be a rapid and chaotic recovery. And so during the COVID period, we completed an expansion of our North American parts distribution center. We completed construction and we opened a brand new world-class spindle remanufacturing facility. We never sent a single one of those associates home over COVID in terms of any layoffs.
Mazak has an incredible array of products, so you serve a ton of industries.
We manufacture over 70 models in this facility here, primarily for the North American and Central American market. We import another over 300 different models. So we have the opportunity to serve all the vertical industries that are manufacturing products. And that's what makes this so exciting. In the world of manufacturing, we're in the greatest industry of them all.
What industries do you see as the growth and kind of the excitement looking forward?
The medical industry, the implant and surgical device industries are growing at a 5 to 7%, annual clip. That's an exciting industry for us. Semiconductor, everybody experienced the shortage of chips. Space has been growing at a phenomenal clip. Commercial space, the commercial aircraft industry. I mean, let's face it, production was shut down for over a year. Then we talk about automotive. Automotive has got a pretty good run ahead of us. And then you see the amount of investment, both domestic and foreign, going into the electric vehicle industry.
Mazak has always been a leader in innovation.
You know, Mazak was the very first to introduce to the world multitasking. We're adding the ability to do hot wire laser deposition, 3D printing inside a high precision 5-axis machine tool. I see a tremendous future, you know, in the world of hybrid.
So let's look a little bit more broadly. Where do you see markets headed over the next 5 years?
I see the continued progression, the evolution of digital technology to augment the sophisticated machine tools that are developed today. And you sprinkle a little artificial intelligence in there that will help to optimize the right tools, the right work holding configuration, the speeds, the feeds, and so forth. We have so much more opportunity to get so much more out of the assets that we put into a production shop with where we're headed with the digital world. We started dabbling in AI about 5 years ago. We partnered with the University of Cincinnati, Dr. Jay Lee. We were able to develop a system of spindle monitoring whereby a simple 30-second cycle, and within a range of plus or minus 10%, we can predict the life of the spindle and what area of the spindle is most susceptible to failure.
One of the differentiators for Mazak has always been the control itself.
Mazatrol played a significant role in building Mazak. The ability of a small job shop to conversationally program a part at the machine was a catalyst, was a driver of building Mazak. We support every CNC machine ever built that's still in service today. And we're able to satisfy almost 98% of every part requirement same day. And that's quite a value proposition that our customers really appreciate. Same thing holds true for spindles.
Let's talk about workforce development. Tell me a little bit about your efforts in that area.
We developed Mazak University. Mazak University is comprised of 4 levels of training. We're about 3 years into this journey and this mission, and I can tell you our retention has improved dramatically, as has our ability to recruit. We're really trying to promote the vocational schools and introduce them to young folks, much like the opportunity I had, you know, when I was a 13-year-old kid and figured out how to run a lathe and a mill.
The world, according to Dan Janka, is
continuous. My vision for the world is a world where there's a continuous pipeline of young, excited, energetic, skilled young folks entering the world of manufacturing here in North America.
Dan, thanks so much. We really look forward to seeing you at IMTS in 2024.